Michael Carnevale is branch manager and financial advisor. Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services Incorporated, 400 Southbridge Street in Auburn, Massachusetts, 1-800-657-9126. A member of FINRA SIPC and are not deposits, not insured by FDIC or any governmental agency, not guaranteed by Webster 5 Cent Savings Bank, and subject to risk, may lose value. Webster 5 Cent Savings Bank is not affiliated with Raymond James Financial Services Incorporated. The information contained in this report does not purport to be a complete description of the securities markets or developments referred to in the material. The information has been obtained from sources considered to be reliable, but we do not guarantee that the foregoing material is accurate or complete. Any information is not a complete summary or statement of all available data necessary for making an investment decision and does not constitute a recommendation. Any opinions are those of Michael Carnevale and not necessarily those of RJFS or Raymond James. Expressions of opinion are as of this date and are subject to change without notice.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Richard Morkel, Mike Carnevale, and it's the Long Hill Report. And Mike is going to tell you where the world is going, economically speaking, anyway. A lot of news in the last few days. Bitcoin, which was the big thing, took a dive, a big dive.
Yeah.
Gold and silver have had their problems, really silver as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the dollar is way up, well, maybe not.
No, no.
So the world is going on with its problems. We have what Trump called an armada off of Iran, but not too close because Iran's got a lot of missiles.
A big, beautiful, powerful armada.
Armada. And if you remember, that armada got beaten by the Houthis, even though Trump didn't call it a defeat. He said, we showed them. Anyway, he called it an armada. Tell me what you know about the armada.
I don't think that's an armada. I think it's one ship he's got there, right?
Well, a carrier.
Yeah.
A carrier task force has a lot of ships.
Mm-hmm.
But in history, when you went to college in history class, when they talked about the armada, were you awake?
I believe I skipped that day.
The armada was Spain's navy that sailed into the English Channel to defeat the Brits and got sunk. A heck of a lot of it. So maybe the armada is a term, well, it's not that, well, Trump does have some knowledge of big, beautiful history.
Yes.
Or maybe not anything else. But what the heck?
It isn't boring, let's put it that.
Well, yeah, well, you know, I'm tired.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are tired of the...
Big, beautiful this, beautiful that. I'm locked and loaded.
Yeah.
Guns a-blazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're going to tear down the Rose Garden. We're going to tear down the East Wing to build a big and beautiful. Well, that's not going so well. So now we're going to tear down the Kennedy Center, and we're going to make that bigger and more beautiful.
Did he put his name on that?
He put his name on that. Yeah.
It's called
It's
the Monroe Doctrine. He called the Monroe Doctrine.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
if I can imagine that, how embarrassed my parents would feel if I ever started talking the way he does.
Yeah.
How they would say, Richard, can you just
Yeah.
would you not do that?
And you look back in previous administrations, both good and bad. I don't think they were ever to this level of nonsense, really. I maybe disagree with all the policies that one side had or the other side, but this has kind of gone beyond it. It's childish.
The New York Times interviewed him, And they said, is there anything constraining you? My own morality.
Yeah.
Well, obviously the guy doesn't really have
No.
a knowledge of the definition of what
Correct.
morality is.
Correct. Yeah.
And then he wrote to the, I guess the Prime Minister of, or Premier of Norway.
Okay.
And he wrote, seeing as you did not see fit to give me the Nobel Prize, I am no longer constrained purely by peace.
Yeah.
Is that sane?
No.
I'm trying to write up something that says 25th Amendment time.
Well, it's interesting that very few in his own party are saying anything.
Few of this, there's a couple of 2 or 3, they're not saying crazy,
Yeah.
but they're forcefully disagreeing with him on a few things.
It's just, and how it, like I've said, how it all ends is yet to be known, but.
Well, isn't that true about everything?
It is, but I mean, this is like, I mean, are we seeing the end? I don't know. You could make a case, yeah, we are seeing.
I believe it's 25th Amendment now.
I mean, I think he's, yeah. And the unfortunate part, you got 2.5+ years left of it, and who knows after that? I mean,
Well, whoever does, I mean, Biden really should have had the 25th Amendment itself. He was not. He was a few bricks short.
yeah. But instead of getting
because he didn't say anything.
right,
He kind of got away with it.
right,
And then, well, so far Trump is actually kind of getting away with it.
oh, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and we're getting more and more extremes, and that's the,
I'm going to say something. I'm going to say his Ukrainian war thing, no worse than Biden's.
right.
It's in the Middle East that he's really got to screw loose.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Albert Colby, who's running his show off of Taiwan, it's called for some moderation.
Mm-hmm.
So he may be. He talks to us. That's the problem.
Right.
If he was a lot quieter.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody agrees with that. That, but see, we know people in our own lives, right? Their personalities won't allow that. They always have to be in the spotlight.
Oh.
It always has to be about them, and that wears kind of thin after a while.
Certainly.
Pretty soon you tune it out completely.
That's true, and we're not like that. So let's get to the big bad show.
Absolutely not.
Let's get to the big beautiful show.
Yes. Well, in January it was. They got the January barometer, another Wall Street saying as January goes, so goes the year. That has worked the last 4 years and 6 of the last 7, and we hope it works in 2026, because January was up almost 2%, and there were 4 all-time closing highs. They all occurred at the beginning part of the month rather than the end, and the Dow crossed 49,000 for the first time.
And the guy across from you will say, inflation!
Yep, he will. And yeah, about half of it.
But I'm not
historically.
going
Okay, but half of it is
It is half,
inflation.
yeah.
So I mean, but I'll take it.
Well,
the
what else
opposite
do we
is-
have? What
right.
else does the retiree have?
Nothing. No.
Is an index, is some kind of index.
Right.
A broad, but how much of that, say like the Dow, how much of that was just the golden stocks, really, what I just said?
Well, when we quote the Dow, it's much more broad-based than the S&P. The S&P 500, all the 500 companies, I think there's actually like 502 or 503 because of various spin-offs. But you know, they talk about the Magnificent Seven, the Big Seven. They really make up most of the S&P. So the S&P is much more technology driven than the Dow.
So how many big stocks in the Dow
Our technology?
are really the heavy amount?
I think Microsoft is in the Dow. You know, that's certainly a big one.
NVIDIA isn't?
And I think NVIDIA is also in the Dow.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, it's not, you know, the others, you know, the Amazons, the Netflix, and those are not in the Dow. Yet they're as big or bigger, and they dominate the S&P 500. So the S&P 500 index, you know, everybody goes back and says, well, you know, this guy Bogle, you know, the founder of Vanguard, and he had it right going in a diversified portfolio in the S&P 500. The S&P 500 of the Bogle years is not the same S&P 500 today. The S&P 500 today is very much a technology index because it's market capitalized, meaning the bigger companies have the bigger say, whereas the Dow is equal weighted.
In, say like in the 50s, what were the big weights, would you say, in the S&P and the Dow? Was it the autos?
It was the autos, the steel companies, railroads, you know.
Does that say something as to the decline of American industry?
The General Motors, right? You know, as it used to say, as General Motors goes, so goes the country, right? Well, General Motors went bankrupt. The stock of General Motors today is not the same stock that was there in the 1950s.
I remember somebody telling as he was investing in a famous stock, saying his father said, "You can't lose money with this stock." Guess what that stock was?
Was it GM?
IBM.
IBM.
Is IBM, what index, where is
IBM was in the Dow. I think it's no longer in the Dow. It's in the S&P 500. And it's come back a bit, but certainly, you know, decades to today, it's not done well. You know, and you know, there were, you know, the Polaroids, you know, you can't go wrong with AT&T, right? I mean, all these, you know.
When was the last time you looked in a Yellow Pages? And that was a big thing of the phone company.
Oh yeah.
Huge.
Yep. I remember when I first went to, out of college, first went to work, right? The mailman would come to the office, right? And he'd bring like 8 or 10 Yellow Pages. And you know, me at 22 years old, right? There'd be a fight. I got one of those is mine. I got it in my office, you know, a big book here. Never used it. They never used it, but you know.
What?
The Yellow Pages is here today.
I mean, it's not even a joke to say it's a different world.
It is. It is. Right.
Yeah. You back up your car and you're looking at it on a screen.
Yeah. Well, I remember as a kid, right? The phone.
You had a dial. When I was a little kid, I lived in a town, we didn't have a dial. Number, please.
Okay.
I mean, that's how primitive my life was. We had shoes.
Okay.
When I was about 5, we had them.
Okay. Indoor plumbing too, or no? That was.
Well, when we got older and we stopped having to go outside in the night. That little thing with the moon.
Yeah, with a half moon. Yeah.
I'm only kidding, folks.
No. But no, I mean, and then when the push button phone came in, myself and my sister wanted our parents to get the push button phone so bad, and my father said, "There's no need for that. We got a phone that works."
Yeah.
And it was a phone in the kitchen on the wall with with a cord that was so stretched out, it would lie on the floor.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was good enough.
And more power to the man.
Yeah. And now it's like elementary school kids have their own phone number.
Imagine, people call me on my pocket, I take it out of it. It's a weird world.
Or you'd go to the airport, there would be a bank of phone booths.
There was a bank going to on the Pike, in the place off there where they had the McDonald's and stuff and everything. They had banks of phones, and then they got banks of phones you could put a credit card in.
Yep.
And then there's no phones.
Yep.
Huh?
And the door would stick. You couldn't get it open.
That's what killed Superman.
He couldn't get out of the phone booth?
He couldn't get in. He couldn't find one.
He couldn't find. Yeah, right. yeah. I mean, so.
Stay with me. I want to be alone.
I can see that. Yeah. But yeah, no. I mean, so.
All right, let's look at the bonds. We are,
Well,
we're going to stop entertaining here.
Actually, interest rates went up during the month. The 30-year Treasury bond went from about 4.8 to 4.9. The short-term 13-week Treasury stayed at 3.59. That's the lowest in a few years. But the yield curve increased, which is a good sign. It means we're moving further away from supposedly worse economic times.
That 10 years when we were
Yep.
in an inverted.
Right.
God, that scared me.
But just as we end the good news, up comes February, which is bad news. Because historically, February ranks as one of the worst months of the year.
Well, what will you do if it's positive? Well, I know you can't do anything, but how will you feel about that?
I will love it. We'll take it. Right?
But
But it was one of the.
You're not optimistic about it.
No, I think February, historically, it ranks 10th out of 12. The last 10 years, it's been down as much as it's been up. And it really hasn't been a lot of good Februaries. The best one was back in 1998, and the Dow was up 7%. So 1998 is a long time ago.
So Mike will be hiding in his bomb shelter after the.
I would think if we could just hold where we are.
That would be a victory.
That would be. Yep.
Technicals, my good man.
They got a little weaker. You probably expect that when the Dow goes up 2% in a month.
Mm-hmm.
If Dow went up 2% every month for a year, that'd be pretty one of the best years in history.
Right.
So the technicals did get a little weaker, but the short-term sentiment didn't change. So it's not like I think we're not at a point where suddenly we're going to get a big drop in the market. Nor are we in a position, I think, where the market's going to go up a lot. It's sort of like we're kind of in the middle there, just treading water, which is okay after what has happened in the last 3 or 4 years.
Well,
right?
And you're saying get ready for February anyway.
Right.
Which
right.
we're in, folks.
Yes, we are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been down a little bit, but nothing major.
Any other technical stuff you want
to? Well, if you take a look at, like, you mentioned the S&P 500. So you take a look at, well, how does it compare today to where it's been? And one of the ways you can look at it is, well, price to earnings of companies. In other words, what are stocks valued at today compared to their earnings, say over the past, say 20 years or so, right? All segments of the market, and there are 9 segments, right? Growth, value, and blend, and large, medium, and small size companies. So there are 9 different segments. All 9 of those segments are overpriced based on a 20-year average price to earnings ratio. So that means the market has done really well in the last decade or so. There's nothing cheap.
What does that say for, say, February? Is it?
Well, I would say what it says is there's more risk than normal of a downturn. That doesn't mean downturn's gonna happen. These 9 segments have been overpriced for probably 2 years. So all as it says is, are things cheap today in relationship to earnings over the past 20 years? No. But that doesn't mean that can't continue.
So what did you say the average PE price earnings was? What did you say it was about?
It's probably in the 20s, low 20s.
So if that could even go up more?
Oh, it could go up even more, yeah.
Wouldn't that be kind of scary?
Yeah, because it would increase the odds of a downturn. You know, something's trading it at a high price to its earnings, and the earnings disappear. Well, you're at a high level to begin with. You got a long way to drop.
So to keep this game going, you have to hope everybody does better on earnings.
Correct.
And what is the Mike prediction for that?
That's what you're saying there, right? Is then you just keep inflating the balloon. At some point,
Well,
pops.
if it's real, I mean,
right? But
if that NVIDIA chip is just really, really, really great,
yeah,
and the world really, really wants it, then its earnings continue to go up.
but nothing lasts forever, right? Eventually, write that down. Yeah, write that down. Nothing. No ting lasts. Yeah, forever. Period. That's a dot, not the word.
Okay.
Okay. But no, I mean, so it's like these things, eventually the cycle, right? Up and down. So all of this tells you is, are things cheap today compared to, say, a past period in time? No. But that doesn't mean it can't continue for longer. It just means the risks are slightly more today than they were a year or two ago.
That nothing lasts forever thing. I don't know if you've ever heard of peak oil.
No.
It was a big thing about 10, 20 years ago. You've never heard of the term Hubbard's Peak?
No.
It's a guy who's an oil geologist, and he wrote, he did some calculations, and we're at peak oil at a certain date, and then we have taken out all the oil. We've reached more than half the oil, and we're on the way down in oil in this country. Well, in this country anyway. And I forgot about it for a long while. Another guy came a few days ago. I said, it's real, and we are going down in this country, but the world is. So there you are. Mike says nothing lasts forever, and we have validation, Mike. But you meant it about stocks. I'm sorry. The world is coming to an end, folks.
Yes.
Maybe not in a week and a half, but all right.
Some point.
Anything else here we didn't go over? Market overpriced, okay.
Yeah.
Major news.
Well, the Fed met, and they voted 10-2 to do nothing with interest rates. And the two people who wanted a dissent wanted rates cut, and those were the two most recent appointees.
Not a wicked shock.
Not a shock. And the Fed said the economy looks good, unemployment's low, and inflation is higher than they'd like it to be. They meet again in the middle of March, and right now there's no chance that they'd cut rates again. It's the odds on the futures market, Fed funds futures market, is right now at 97% chance of no change. So,
is Trump screaming bloody murder over that?
oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there was a start. He's nominated this new person for the Fed chair.
Yeah.
Whether he votes it, whether the Senate votes it in or not, I mean, it hasn't begun. But oh yeah, they asked the Treasury Secretary today that Trump said that he would indict the guy if he didn't cut interest rates, and this was because the Treasury Secretary was before Congress yesterday and today, and Elizabeth Warren was the one questioning him today, and said, brought this up, and he twisted back. Well, I mean, the president can do what he wants, and so, yeah, I mean, he's going to.
She was talking to Walsh?
No. She was talking to
the Treasury.
The Treasury, Bassett, yeah. And you would have liked it because she was talking about grocery prices, and he said they're going down, and the rate of inflation is going down, but grocery prices are still going up, and he then said, well, there are some grocery prices that are going down. I mean, it was it was
Well,
kind of funny.
Warren would be looking to
Yes.
give him a hard time anyway.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And that's the game in politics.
Yeah. I mean, so, not much action around the world. Canada met and they decided to follow the U.S. and not cut interest rates. Oil's gone up a bit.
Canada's the only one we have a report from. No change. Anybody else do anything?
No one else had any meetings.
Oil, oil in a barrel, $66.
That's gone up a bit. I think a lot.
It's down. I think today I saw it 63.
Okay, so it's.
But I mean, God, if that's something the world that any constituency, including Trump's, but also everybody else, would like to see not go up
It's
in the
that.
60s.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
come home from Greenland guy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Alphabet, which is Google, it
Yeah.
became the $4th trillion stock.
wow, that is. What are the other three?
Apple, Nvidia, and Microsoft. And if you had bought 100 shares of Google when it came public in 2004, through stock splits, you would have put $8,500 in. Through stock splits, you'd now have 4,000 shares and $1.3 million. So $8,500 became $1.3 million in about 20 years.
Wow.
That's why they always say, you only need one stock.
Yeah.
But it's finding that one, right?
The ball is crystal.
Yep.
The production fell by 129 barrels, 1,000 barrels, which is
Yep.
what I was
Okay.
mentioning earlier.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
don't dwell on it.
Okay.
The drilling rigs, you mean 546?
Yeah, they're down from where they were a year ago.
All right, Indiana.
Oh, well, now for some good news. Indiana won the National College Football Championship.
I was following that. I mean, every minute of the day, and then I kind of forgot. So I'm glad I see you.
Well, I mean, I did the in-depth research, so you didn't have to.
Whew.
So when a Big Ten football conference school wins the college championship, stock market goes up 67% of the time. And the average gain is 13%. So if that happened, Indiana Big Ten school won it this year, so we should see the stock market around 56,000 sometime this year.
It'll get there, but I'll blame inflation. You'll blame science.
No, you got to. It's research. It's the research.
Oh, research, yeah. You're digging in there, so the rest of us don't have to.
Spending a lot of work time doing extensive research. Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to dig out these.
Courage,
facts,
mon ami, courage.
Yes. And then we got the Super Bowl, which we had to do more research on.
I saw the first Super Bowl they ever held.
Okay.
You'd have to put a gun to my head to make me watch it now.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the halftime show. Don't make me even think about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. The problem is, and I noticed it this year, too many timeouts, too many commercial breaks. I can see a commercial, but when you have 3 or 4 commercials in a row, you really can't watch it. At least I find I can't watch it anymore because it's 4 hours, 3.5 hours, of which over half of it is ads.
When you've lost Michael, you've lost America.
Yeah. And this Super Bowl, no help for the stock market. There is no result that is good for the stock market. And the worst result is New England playing Seattle, because they did it in 2015, and that year the market fell 2%. So I guess this Super Bowl, it's all about football, but there's no hope for the stock market. There's no outcome that is going to be great for the stock market. So thanks, Indiana University. I knew they were good for something.
Right.
Outside of basketball.
Inflation.
Yes. Not good,
Yeah.
right? The numbers came out for December, and they show it going back up again, the rate going back up again. And the Fed kind of mentioned that when they said inflation was elevated.
There's no way that they were going to cut rates in that.
No. Leading economic indicators, still can't get that report out based on the government shutdown that ended, I don't know, months ago. Still can't get that report out, so we have no clue as to what's going on there.
It was more than a month ago.
Yeah.
All right.
November, I thought.
Jobless. I read something today, and I meant to put it on the paper that jobless is starting to go up
Yeah.
more than it is.
Yes, the latest one, which came out today, was it 223,000 or 230,000? So you're getting close to that 250,000, which at least history shows starts to hurt the economy. So it is starting to increase. We'll have to see if that's just they said that, well, that increase, you can't believe it because it was a lot of bad weather across the country. I don't know, do they lay off people because it's bad weather? But that's what the Labor Department said today, that don't get too excited about this because there was a lot of cold and snowy weather. I don't know anybody who gets laid off because it's snowing or cold out.
Oh, there is the bomb cyclone,
Yes,
which we didn't have.
but they...
I like the term, though.
They loved talking about it from Tuesday until hoping, and it didn't happen, and there's another one coming, though. We just don't know when. So
All right, employment report itself up.
For December, non-farm payrolls up 50,000. To help the economy, it has to be over 150,000. So you can see jobless claims and the employment, jobless losses and job creations are going in the wrong direction.
So that's not good.
No.
Well, and worse, we're kind of all over here, done, but we're in February, and that's a horrible month.
It is.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's only 2 months worse.
I don't know if we'll ever be back. This is Richard Morco with Mike Carnevale. Long Hill Report, conversations with, let's hope. Keep your fingers crossed if the economy doesn't go all the way over the edge. Thank you very much.